What's going on, guys? Coach Chandler here, Team Swole Patrol. You know, one thing that gets lost in the mix with me filming all these videos on how to build more muscle, get more ripped up and condition, increasing strength, is the fact that I actually got my start working with power athletes, all right? In my gym in Tampa, what really built a large community, a large following there, was me working with a lot of football players, basketball players, wrestlers, guys that needed to be strong and explosive. And especially in today, as it will be forever, all things held constant, the bigger, stronger, faster, more conditioned athlete will always win in whatever competition that he does. Now, you might not care about building athleticism, but that said, I've always found that when you train someone to be more athletic, especially in the power sports arena, then you're going to have a more aesthetically pleasing look. Now, one of the things I want to talk about today is one of those components, and that's speed, all right? It seems everyone wants to talk about, building speed. One of the biggest questions I get from all guys contacting me that are athletes is, how can I increase my speed? And one of the biggest things missed out on in a lot of training routines today is the fact that everyone wants to jump all over, training the posterior chain. And although the posterior chain is very important for building top end speed, it doesn't quite address what it takes to really become explosive out of the gates. I'm talking having a lot of acceleration, going from standing still to jumping out into that sprint. Okay, so one of the things that gets lost in that is the fact that that's not going to be as much a focus on building posterior strength as it is anterior strength, so the quads. So what I want to do today is share with you some of my favorite ways to train the anterior chain of the body so that you can become more explosive out of the gates.
All right, we're going to start things off with the king of all anterior loaded lifts, the front squat. Goal here is to not just hit the anterior portion of the body with these front squats, but also to work on rate of force development. Speed is very important to not just be able to apply a lot of force into the ground, but be able to produce that force very quickly. And doing speed work on the front squats is a great way to do that. Next, we have our supplemental lifts. This is a rather uncommon lift. I don't really see it a lot, but I love it. Is basically you're going to be in a front squat stance, but then just roll out some alternating lunges. It's a great single leg movement, which is important for athletes. All right, typically speaking, athletes are going to be applying force unilaterally. In a sprint and a jump, ultimately you got to be able to apply force throughout one leg just as much as you have to do with two. All right, and following that up, I'm going to do a posterior movement, just a regular old back extension. I'm going to stick with weighted back extension first, then move to just body weight back extension, really improving on my work capacity here, keeping my heart rate up, and ultimately this is going to allow you to like I said, build that work capacity, that muscular endurance, and this will be critical in your ability to, throughout the second half, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, whatever sport you're in, and how the time rolls there, it's going to be critical for you being able to punish from the first to last whistle. And last but not least, we have Zurcher squats for a finisher. Another very uncommon but very powerful lift when you're trying to increase not just the strength of your anterior chain, but your upper back and core as well. Very important if you are a power athlete. And whenever you're doing these, don't go too heavy on the weight. I'd much rather you work on increasing your work capacity and muscular endurance by focusing on a relatively, kind of hypertrophy-based weight and go real high intensity with low rest in between.
Hey, hopefully you enjoyed this video on how you can increase and enhance your athleticism by improving upon your acceleration, your explosiveness out of the gates. If you did, let me know by hitting the like button right now. And if you have any more questions about how you can enhance athleticism, whether you're a competitive athlete or a weekend warrior doing some recreational things on the weekends, let me know by leaving a question in the comments section below. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe up in the corner there so that we can keep this channel growing and keep improving upon the content I can bring you on a daily basis. Appreciate your time, guys. Have a good one. Mandler